y'all. My da. What's goody to the goddess and the guys, and what's popping to my people. And yeah, like we always do about this time. And back in the day, they used to say ain't nothing to it but to do it. So let's do it. This is gonna be different. And this gonna be heavy. See, this the thing right here. Everybody talk about the same shit. I was scrolling through YouTube, just looking at current events, trying to see what's going on, trying to pull on something that we could talk about this week. And all you see is World War III, Candace Rice, Donald Trump, World War III, the dude from Putin, and the other dude from Israel. That's everybody talking about the same shit. Like, listen, bro, listen. Let's just assume they're telling the truth and they're about to have a nuclear war. Fuck are you gonna do? Nothing. People say, well, we need to know so we can prepare. Okay, well, prepare. Don't panic, just prepare. Just if in your mind you think there could be some validity to what's going on, just stock up a few things. The fuck you trying to scare everybody else for? Or trying to, I don't know what y'all be trying to do, but it's like, that's on one side. On the other side, I already broke this down last week with receipts and told you it's all crap. So why would I talk about it again this week? If I would have do that again this week, then one could deduct that I didn't believe what I told y'all last week. Or why would I talk about it again? So yeah, no, we're not gonna be talking about the damn World War III and all of that shit. That shit is it's Hollywood. If you want to know what's going on with the government right now, just go watch a couple Hollywood movies. Go watch the Olympus Has Fallen, that little series, White House Down, all that. Just go watch that little series. And it'll tell you everything that's going on right now. They put it in the movies for y'all. Everything that's going on right now was in those three little movies. The end. Now, let's get to the real deal. I came across crazy shit. But it's the type of crazy that kind of fall in line with some shit I already told y'all. So now I got intrigued, like, this could be. So then I just started doing a little digging with some of my common sources, and there was a little something in there. And then I did what I went to AI. And then it got my AI, the HAIC, I already know what I be on. So therefore, as soon as I open that joint up, he get to asking me, hey man, what we doing? We doing Saturn, we doing reptilians, what we doing? He know. So soon as I throw something out there, it know how to connect the dots where I'm already at. And I don't got to reach all over the place. It already know what type of time we on. Reptilians, Saturn, the moon, global government, we on that type of time. So instantly, ancient artifacts, ancient symbolism, we on that type of time. So instantly, I'm going to cut right to it. Now, it's crazy how if you make 3 lefts, that's a right. So you just got to think about that. If you make 3 lefts, that's a right, my dude. So sometimes we got to go left to get right. That's all. Or you don't right, you can get left quick. Yeah, either one. You don't go right, you get left quick. Either one. But now, so I seen some shit about, really it started out about, it was captioned, it was something about TUPAC. And Even though y'all scared to watch it, I did a documentary on Tupac. It's been like 2 years now, and I'm pretty sure it's the coldest one ever been put together about dude. But I'm glad don't nobody watch me. That's fine. 'Cause then the people don't be looking for me. So, but look though. So now look, this I'm gonna pull it up, and we're gonna pick it apart, play with it a little bit, and then we're gonna do some dot connecting because what this implies is that, and this is a heavy implication, but what this little documentary implies is that actually now it's kind of fucking with me because we've kind of implied this, but just not the way that they're saying it. So I used to say, well, I still say that the effect that Pac had on the industry, you can still see almost every artist after him using that blueprint. Riding on your enemies, whole body tatted, heavy gang shit, as y'all say. It's just a formula that all gangster rappers use now, and it's that Pac formula. But now, we would call that influence. So we would be thinking like he influenced the generation in such a way. Oh my, hold on, man, what the hell? Oh, this is my light strip. My shit back on the wall. Y'all playing games. That's for my strobe light. Stay out, mind your business. Mind your business. Stay out my personal business. Now, now we would call it influence, but now what this video that I'm gonna play is suggesting is that it's not influence, it's a prototype on some science shit. And they call it, hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all what they call it. Because I never heard this phrase before, so I just asked AI about it just a couple minutes ago. I just asked AI about it. Okay. It's called harmonic identity transposition. Harmonic identity transposition. And what this allegedly suggests is that ever since Marvin Gaye, they start approaching how to take down we'll say the black person that got that spark. We might call it the next messiah, that next spark in entertainment. They start researching that. And they started with Marvin Gaye. And what they basically did over the years was develop a prototype for the black influential and that black messiah energy. And once they discovered the prototype, they basically are like soul trapping the real being and then repeatedly, generation after generation, just feeding us the prototype. Now, so I know that sounds like some bugged out shit, but let me just say this again, because I have to say it again so I can believe I'm saying this shit. So what they saying is they got the actual artists, we would say like Marvin Gaye or like Tupac. When they allegedly die, they don't really die. They are some way taking the actual persona of Tupac or Marvin Gaye and trapping that and feeding the rest of the world the generic prototype. So I don't know if this, we got to hear this shit. This shit deep. Is this a clone or is this a? I need some lotion. Too, motherfucking face won't stop itching. Is this a clone or are they able to like trap a part of the being but still feed the world? Like, what is it? This shit crazy, bro. I'm telling y'all. But it's basically soul trapping. So allegedly, they did some experiments in like the 60s and various projects where they was trying to tap into reincarnation. And during those projects, something happened where they just abruptly shut it down and disappeared. And so the suggestion is, what did they find that was so heavy that made them don't even want to deal with it no more and pretend that it was a flop? So the assumption is this is where now we got this rumor or this conspiracy theory about soul harvesting on this planet. Y'all done heard people say all the time, they bring up the demiurge and they bring up this is the matrix and our souls is trapped in this, that, and the third. Now, okay, that could all be capped. But then there's documentation connected to the moon where they found a tower on the moon and they call it a soul trap. And there's several of them. I know this shit bugged out. Y'all like, what the fuck is he talking about? I don't know either what the fuck I'm talking about. That's why it sounds like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the shit sound heavy. So we gonna watch the fucking video. And y'all better enjoy it too, because they're gonna strike my fucking channel when I'm done. They always do. But we gonna watch the motherfucking video. And let me find my disclaimer. See if that'll save me. I got a disclaimer in here, but I can't never find the motherfucker when I need it. It's my my thing that say don't sue me if I steal your shit. What they call that motherfucker? Why don't it never be here? Fair use. Yeah, I know I had one. My damn. Hold on, y'all. I guess I had a fair use thing. I don't know why I would have got rid of it. I used to throw that up so they don't fuck with me. I don't see it no more though. That's the craziest shit ever. It don't even make sense that I would get rid of that. Let me just see. I see everything but that. It's crazy. Wait, is it? No, it probably ain't this, but let me see. Nope. That was ancient Greece notes and shit. What's this? Nope. All right, so I'm about to download it again, which is really silly. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me get that. I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. Wait, hold on, man. Okay, here we go. Let me get this. What the hell? Okay, here we go, right here. Okay, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Can I have my shit, please, people? Can I have my stuff? like I ain't got your shit. Can I have my shit? Is all I'm asking for. Damn. Written to Caesar, what belongs to Caesar and shit. Niggas be tripping. Alright, hold on. Let me get the look clear. Let me get the. Where is it at though? Wouldn't it be in downloads, right? Come on, man. I don't got time for this shit, bro. Here we go. Oh, they pissed me off. Now where'd it go? I keep fucking with where'd I put it? Hold on, y'all. I know y'all like, what's wrong with this Negro? To be honest with you, I don't even know what's wrong with me. All I know is I just downloaded some fair use shit and they won't give it to me. And I'm just about to snap out and then shit gonna be lit. That's what the fuck's wrong with me. Any more questions? Any more questions? Are there any more questions? Okay, here we come right here. Bow. Now, here go my goddamn thing. What are we doing? What the fuck is wrong with you people? This makes no sense. I saved it. Why won't let me use it? This shit's stupid. Wait, hold on. Why this said the background? Oh, hold on. Now that mean I could use y'all shit, but I don't want it in the background. I'm finna put it over, right on top of my face. This mean I could use y'all shit. Don't fuck with me. That's how you do that. And then I'm gonna play the video and stop bullshitting. Then I'm gonna play the video and stop bullshitting. There we go. There we go. Read that shit. 1976. This is for educational purpose only. Ain't nobody finna get no motherfucking money. So y'all ain't gotta be bothering me, striking the channel and shit. Now, let's get to it. Share my screen. Wait a minute. What the fuck is you? Share my screen. Boom. Going to the YouTube. Okay, hold on though. We gotta go. Now let me get to where's my history around this bitch? No, whoops. Here I come, y'all. History. And then we're gonna go to this right here.
Moments of life. Subscribe.
Now.
I know it sounds crazy, but the tape was real. The voice, it was his. Not an old recording, not a remix. It was a message, current, direct. As if he was still watching everything from here. That was the day I realized what happened to Tupac wasn't the end. It was a pause, planned, calculated, for something much bigger that already has a date set. If this gave you chills, subscribe to the channel now, share this video with someone who needs to hear this before 2027, and comment below. Do you really believe he died, or just changed form? Oh, and before they take it down, there's a gift in the description, something that connects it all. The names, the cycles, the returns. Check it out, but only if you're ready to see what comes after the collapse. I was working as a forensic imaging assistant at the Clark County Coroner's Office in Las Vegas in the second half of 1996. At the time, no one knew exactly what I did, not even my family, not even my co-workers, because what I saw could never be in an official report. It was on the night of September 13th, 1996, that it all began. The shift had been strange from the start. Unidentified phone calls, a man in a suit who arrived before the ambulance, and the warning, No documentation should be issued without higher authorization. When Tupac Shakur was pronounced dead at 4:03 a.m., something in the air seemed wrong. There was no immediate mourning, no rush, no commotion inside the hospital. Everything was rehearsed. We received the body for preliminary examination, but we weren't the ones who conducted the procedure. The outside team took control, cordoned off the autopsy wing, and ordered everyone to stay away for at least 12 hours. I was in the basement, in the microfilm development room, when the elevator came down with 2 men from the medical team and a 3rd man without a badge, carrying a black briefcase. I saw him hand the supervisor an envelope with a metal seal bearing the inscription, Protocol 7, Actoris Neger, Black Actors, Coded. Hours later, when I tried to access Tupac's autopsy report on the system, a notice of absolute confidentiality appeared. Alpha level, unregistered document. It didn't exist. But there was a code, 777A. The same acronym had appeared in cases such as those of Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, and Jimi Hendrix. The following week, a technical employee called me into the building's parking lot, his eyes downcast. He said, "I know what you saw, but you didn't see what's going on." And then he handed me a physical copy of an X-ray. It was a side view of a skull. Patient name, Lisanne Parrish Crooks, Tupac's real name. But the image didn't match. The bone structure was that of an older man. The dental implant didn't match. The jawline was that of someone at least 10 years older than Tupac. That same night, that copy disappeared from my drawer. The security camera was erased, and my digital key was deactivated. The following week, a new report was issued. Unsigned, no DNA test, just a blurry photo, and a certificate with a grotesque error. It said the body weighed 215 pounds. Tupac weighed 168.
This shit right here, I don't know, fam. That's all I wanted to say. I don't know, but let's continue.
I began to suspect that something was being covered up, but not a murder, a substitution, or worse, a transition. The weeks passed, but what made me question everything was an audio recording, a surveillance clip that fell into my hands with no sender. It was a conversation between 2 agents from the National Cultural Intelligence Agency. In the excerpt, one of them said, "He agreed. Now he's part of Project Canaan. We left the reflection. The original will be transferred." And when I searched for Project Canaan in encrypted files, I found a single sentence: symbolic reconstruction, archetypal preservation of black cultural assets, and the name listed as active protocol, Tupac Amaru Shakur. When I first came across that term, Project Canaan, I thought it was a typo. I had never heard of it. It didn't appear in any public database, not even in private intelligence networks. But from the moment I connected that name with Tupac's disappearance, other pieces began to fall into place. It was as if something was deliberately hidden in plain sight. I began tracking the name in internal files and historical cultural intelligence databases. That's how I found it, inside a folder filed under the generic title Artistic Preservation of National Interest, a subdocument marked Confidential Class 3V. It detailed a project initiated between 1979 and 1982, whose goal was to identify, map, and eventually protect certain black icons who had exceeded acceptable influence in the mass media. According to this file, names such as Bob Marley, Gil Scott-Heron, and Nina Simone were not only monitored, they were classified as potential archetypal deviations. In other words, figures who could profoundly change the way entire populations viewed the system, the truth, and power. And Tupac was the pinnacle of this. He wasn't just a musician, he was a catalyst, The project predicted that, upon reaching a certain level of symbolic activation, these icons would no longer be eliminated or silenced. They would be redirected, isolated, extracted from common reality, and led to spaces of narrative control. These spaces were not physical. They were called neutral cultural zones, invisible areas where these figures could exist, without further affecting the structure. The name for this, active consciousness retention in symbolic territory. In practice, it was as if TUPAC had been taken out of the game, but kept alive, not just in flesh, but in essence, a human backup, a presence kept in limbo to
I think I get it now. Why is my picture so small? I think I get it now. Hold on, y'all. Why the fuck is my picture so small? There we go. I think I get it now. Okay, so remember when we was watching I did a couple of shows about the human sleeves. What's that show? Altered Carbon. That show Altered Carbon about the human sleeves. So what they were suggesting in that show is they could download human consciousness, put it on like a disc, and then upload it into the sleeve, which is just the human exterior, the dummy. But they were saying they could upload human consciousness into that. So this is exactly what they're talking about. So they're talking about when these people allegedly are getting killed, they're getting abducted. Then they're taking them somewhere, downloading their consciousness, and taking that consciousness and using that, reusing it in different beings. So like they could take somebody like a Kendrick Lamar, erase him clean, and upload the TUPAC consciousness, but it would be modernized. Fuck. This is like my third time watching this. I didn't really totally put it together. That's what the fuck they're saying. So when I said like all of these TUPAC prototypes, they're taking the TUPAC consciousness and just, oh my fucking goodness. Because watch what they finna say. I think I'm right. Watch what they finna say. Hold on.
be used when convenient, and the first signs of this began to spread without anyone noticing. 3 weeks after his death, an unreleased recording surfaced, a verse that had never been released, but with a production quality that didn't exist in 1996. When audio technicians analyzed the track, they noticed elements of digital compression that would not appear on the market until 2001. The voice was his, but the recording time, no. At that time, rumors began to surface that TUPAC was alive in Cuba, then in Somalia.
Am I bugging out? Are y'all hearing this shit? This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. And I believe it. I believe it. I fucking believe it. I fucking believe it. This is crazy, y'all.
Then in South America, all reports came from different places, but there was something in common between them, a symbol. Those who claimed to have seen TUPAC said he always wore a black bracelet with a golden triangle, and no one knew what it meant. Upon further research, I discovered that this symbol appears in documents from an organization called the Athena Group, linked to surveillance contracts, sound engineering, and narrative manipulation for the US Department of Defense. The golden...
Now here go one of our first connections, because I said in the description, I said, what does Saturn have to do with this? We already know that triangle and the black and gold is Saturnian colors. So we're mixing conspiracy with secret society symbolism and Saturnian symbolism. So there's some ideals are starting to emerge here. We got to walk this thing down.
The triangle represents something called the triple archetypal interface. In other words, body, voice, and idea. The system didn't just need the physical TUPAC, it needed to keep his image, voice, and values active, but under control, monitored, and modulated. That's when I found an audio file sent by a former Death Row Records employee. He said TUPAC agreed, but he didn't do it alone. He made demands. He wanted to maintain control over what he left behind. He didn't want to be recreated. He wanted to remain. The recording was sent on a USB stick with only one other file inside. A 2-second video. In this video, someone walks down a white hallway with blue artificial lighting. The camera is hidden, shaky, but you can see him. It's him, older. His beard is different. His gaze is calmer. But it's him, TUPAC, wearing the same black bracelet and holding what appears to be an old audio device. The video ends with him slowly turning toward the camera. No surprise, as if he already knew he was being filmed, and he smiles. At that moment, everything I thought was a conspiracy became a document. What was rumor became protocol instruction. The Canaan Project didn't kill anyone. It erased them and replaced them. It left a story in its place, a funeral, a narrative, but it took the original to another kind of prison, a symbolic prison, and that's when I found something even more frightening. On the list of assets preserved by this program was a new name, recent, registered in 2020, code 44BL, the name Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. When I saw Kendrick Lamar's name on the same symbolic preservation list as TUPAC, something inside me froze. It was as if time was bending, as if this system not only kept isolated icons alive, but predicted the emergence of new ones before. They even reached their peak, as if there was a structure behind the culture, a machine that operated decades in advance. I continued investigating and found a sequence of files encoded with in the same classified
My screen froze, my fault, y'all. But that's what I'm saying. You see what they said? A system that's been operating decades in advance. So now this goes to the gematria chart when we was talking about the athletes. And I told y'all, a lot of, if you look at athletes, rappers, actors, a lot of them parents and shit was either athletes or actors. Whatever field they was in, their parents was usually already in it. Sometimes famous, sometimes behind the scenes, and we don't even know it. But that means if we're right and we know how they are about numerology, a lot of these children are planned. I did it with the Prince. Completely planned my last child all the way out. So you can plan your child out to have it at a certain time, under a certain moon cycle, under a certain astrological cycle. You can map that out. So these are planned children, and then they move them up, and they're using these consciousness to replicate the exact same behavior and prototypes throughout our fucking. This shit is crazy, bro. I just trapped this soul in a black cage on the planet Saturn. Don't nobody on Saturn want to have shit to do with me, I promise you. That's how I know you lying, because if you tell them my name, somebody would have pissed on themselves. So you definitely ain't talking about Saturn. People in Saturn are fucking terrified of me. You're lying. Bye. Beat it. Now, this is crazy though. So let's get back to it.
Nomenclatures that mixed Latin, biblical references and military acronyms. One of the files, marked Prot 2027 Vultus Primum, contained only a simple text. No images, no names, just one paragraph. When the 3 black archetypes are activated, simultaneously in real time, body, sound and soul, symbolic reincarnation will begin. The projection will become flesh. The reflection that allegedly masterminded the end of collectives such as the Black Panthers and the systematic disappearance of charismatic black leaders in the United States. Their proposal was clear: not to destroy, but to redirect, silence the noise without killing the source. I spent the night connecting the dots: TUPAC, KENDRICK, and in an earlier file there was also the name Lauryn Hill, all with a history of confronting structures, all with works that touched more than the ear, that deeply affected social perception, and all, at some appearance, forced creative silence. But what shocked me came later. In a hidden attachment, I found a spreadsheet called Vultus Active. Updated in real time, it monitored behavior patterns, voice reach, emotional influence, and symbolic weight of public figures. And next to each name, a countdown, with an end date marked December 21st, 2027. According to the file, on that date, the so-called narrative convergence would occur. An event where 3 icons would simultaneously return to activate a new symbolic cycle in the West. A cycle with spiritual, cultural, and political implications. And what but the real return, or what they called a functional return, which consisted of presenting a public figure in the flesh, sustained by biological AI, with a voice restored from original phonograms and a memory carefully molded to maintain fidelity to the archetype. They didn't just want to bring TUPAC back, they were building TUPAC as a symbol of control over the black collective unconscious, not as a rebel, but as a product, as a code. And if all this seems absurd, what I'm about to tell you is what made me never sleep the same again. I received a package, no sender, no name. Inside was an analog tape recorder and a cassette tape. I played it. The voice was his. TUPAC. But it wasn't a song. It was a message. He said, "If these guys yet, they took everything from me. They erased me from living history. They turned me into an avatar. But listen, I'm still here, waiting, watching, and if this convergence happens, it won't just be me coming back, it will be the truth too. Only maybe it won't be what you want to see." The tape ended with static, but before it stopped, one last sentence, almost imperceptible, appeared recorded over the top. "Get ready for 2027, but be careful. Not every return is liberation. If you feel like something big is lining up behind the scenes, there's a gift in the video description that might explain more than it should. It's a dossier on the symbolic global collapse, cycles of manipulation, controlled voices, and key dates like 2027. While it's still up. And remember, not every return is liberation.
They keep saying not every return is liberation. I wonder if they're talking about the Jesus thing. You know, they had him heavily connected with Jesus. He was Jesus on the last album cover. We know that with the Project Bluebeam and all of these things, that's something that they talked about was using holograms to and try to convince us that Jesus returned or was some alien warfare or something to that extent. So not every return is liberation. Got it. Okay. Let's get back to it. This shit kind of heavy.
Most theories about Tupac's disappearance focus on his rivalry with the East Coast, Death Row Records, or even Suge Knight, but it was just the surface, because the deeper I dug into the archives, the clearer it became that Tupac didn't die, and worse, that he was never in control of his own story. It was when I dove into the Vultus archive investigation that the name Consortium Obscura appeared definitively. At first, I thought it was just another urban legend from the deep web, one of those that appear alongside projects like Montauk or MK Ultra. But what I found was not theory. It was records, contracts, scans of minutes and meetings held between the 1970s and 2000. Signature was repeated alongside strange events that marked the sudden death of black artists or the control of their posthumous works. James Brown, disappearance of original tapes. Michael Jackson, legal control of the catalog. Prince, sealed files. And now Tupac, endless remasterings, preserved voices, lyrics that sound more current today than when they were written. The pattern was clear, but the method was invisible. The Obscura Consortium operates as a symbolic containment network. They don't control directly, they filter. They create clean versions of powerful figures. They archive the originals, and they feed the public copies, packaged as a product. And the way they operate is always the same. They identify a rising figure. They track their symbolic impact. They rate their ability to alter the social programming. And when that influence exceeds a certain limit, what they call the dissonance threshold, the protocol is activated. For Tupac, that happened in 1995. It wasn't an album. It was an interview. On a local TV special, he said something he shouldn't have. He said that no lasting cultural change happens without first killing the god that sustains it. At the time, it seemed code. He was talking about the system itself. He was saying that the only way to win was to destroy the image before it could be used against him. And that's exactly what the consortium does. It doesn't destroy the body, it destroys the narrative from within. In another document, I found something even more frightening, a list called Compatible Icons for Transfer. Each name came with 3 columns: physical presence, vocal preservation, archetypal openness. Tupac was marked successfully preserved, but Kendrick's testing. Further down, names appeared, all current, all alive, and at the end of the list, a field with the following phrase: candidate for full activation, awaiting integration into the Sacred Rhetoric Collective. What is the Sacred Rhetoric Collective? It took me days to find out, but when I did, I couldn't sleep. A hidden video hosted on a server with a masked IP address. Untitled, no playback time. The image showed a dark room, circular. In the center, 7 connected screens. Each screen displayed the face of a black icon. Tupac. Nina Simone, Bob Marley, Gil Scott-Heron, James Baldwin, Prince, but their breathing was visible, as if they were watching, as if they were alive. The camera then slowly turned and stopped in front of a mirror, and behind the lens, someone was watching, a man in a grey suit, with a golden triangular symbol pinned to his lapel. It was him, the same man I saw in...
What the fuck are they saying, bro? What the fuck are they saying? This is some bugged out shit. This is some bugged out shit. Peace Queen, this is some bugged out shit. Because now, when you add Kendrick Lamar to the equation and Lauryn Hill, they're still alive. Now, he said 7 faces on the screen, and they're alive and they're breathing. So the only conclusion we can reach is what the fuck I just said a few minutes ago. These people are sleeves, and the real people is somewhere else. And they've downloaded the consciousness off the real people, keeping them somewhere else, and they got the active, you might well say clones. Clone, that's what they talk about. They talking about cloning. Now, when you put it like that, we know they got to be cloning by now. We know this. So they download human consciousness into a lookalike sleeve, and that's why the artist be one way, and then all of a sudden, 360, he go from you know what I'm saying? He go from his chains, some fly gear, and all that type of shit. Next album, he got on booty shorts and a choker and a man bag or some shit. That's what they doing, bro. They abducting the real deals after because they gotta let you bubble for a minute so they can track the energy of what you're doing to be able to mimic it. So they gotta let you get it in for a minute. All the time they're studying you, studying everything about you, your interaction with the audience, your full energy scale. They studying it like a body scan. And once you get to a certain threshold where you're about to break the mold and really start making a difference, that's when back over the face, throw your ass in a van, and then drop off the new you in the morning. This is crazy, family. This some bugged out shit. I didn't even think it was this deep when I first got the video.
Victorious Niger seal. This day, they didn't die. They were stored, and soon they will be activated. After weeks of cross-referencing leaked files, old wiretaps, and deleted traces of the Canaan project, a geographical pattern began to emerge. Almost all of the last locations attributed to missing icons, such as TUPAC, Sam Cooke, or even Michael Jackson, revolved around the same area, a maritime zone between Cuba, Honduras, and the Cayman Islands. No country claims direct sovereignty over this stretch of sea, but it appears frequently in outsourced security contracts linked to companies such as the Athena Group mentioned earlier. During a quiet dawn, I received an encrypted file, just a map, no captions, no official markings, but in the center was an isolated coordinate, latitude 19.6078, longitude 79.9843. When I searched for the location, I found something that sent a chill down my spine. A dark block on the satellite. No visible vegetation, no structures, no shadows, but something was there. Apparently hidden by a digital layer. I used a spectral reversal tool to hexagonal structures, low domes, and a symbol. A triangle with 3 connected circles, the same as the gold bracelet mentioned in previous reports about TUPAC. In the caption of the decoded file, a name, Codex Island. When I searched for that term in old files, I found a single reference, a quote from a CIA technician during a confidential hearing at the Strategic Culture Committee in 2009. He said, "The Codex is a symbolic point of contention. It doesn't function as a prison, it functions as a membrane." A membrane. As if the people there weren't imprisoned, but kept in limbo. Between 83, the same year, Nina Simone disappeared from the music scene for almost a decade. The same year, the FBI declassified part of the COINTELPRO program files, removing, without justification, the names of at least 14 black artists considered catalytic agents. I returned to the coordinates. This time, I tried to access them via the maritime tracking system, and that's when I found something even more frightening. 3 military ships registered as acoustic research medical units docked in the same region every 27 days. The operation was always silent, with no diplomatic involvement and no nine company.
Just hit the thumbs up and ring the bell.
Involved in exporting neurosensitive data servers to NATO bases. At that point, it was no longer possible to pretend it was just a coincidence. TUPAC didn't just disappear, he was taken to a place where his words, his face, and his symbolic energy would be kept available. A source I had contact with in Romania, a former expert in voice print-based storage, sent me an audio file.
I just thought about something. I should have had this queued up for us already, but I just thought about something. Now, they just said Tupac was taken somewhere. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. I forgot about this. Watch this. Hold on. Where is it at? Give me 1 second, y'all. Where is it at? Where's the little white lady at? Oh, come on. Don't get the bullshit now. Oh, come on. I've seen this 1,000 times, y'all. Hold on, man. Come on, man. Damn. Damn, y'all. I can't find it. Oh my goodness. Damn. Damn it. Okay. Damn, y'all. I've showed this before. I don't know why I can't find it. Maybe I can find it on my phone real quick. But it's a lady. After on the Vegas Strip, it's a lady that say she seen the shooting and Tupac and Suge when they jumped in the helicopter. Tupac and somebody when Helicopter on Vegas shooting. Man, this just should go to show you how they be getting shit off the internet, sweeping shit off the internet. Because usually when I look this up, it'll pop right up. I didn't show this at least 4 or 5 times for different shows, and now I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It ain't nowhere in sight. But it's a damn. So it's like I don't know if they first on the scene before all of the other before everybody else get there. And so they asking the lady what happened. And the lady don't even know it's Tupac. She like, she don't we just heard some shooting, and then we seen 2 guys jump out their car and run and go get in the helicopter. Yeah, it ain't nowhere on here. Here it go right here. Here it go right here. Okay, hold on. I found it. Okay, I found it. Here we go right here, y'all.
Actually, we're kind of pretty far down the street when it happened. We didn't know if we heard gunshots, or we didn't really know exactly what we heard. We heard a lot of screaming, a lot of cars screeching. We were just hanging out, taking photos at the time. We ran up the street as cops were running past us, and by the time we got here, they were already taking, which now I found out was Tupac, into the helicopter away. He had been shot.
I'm lagging so bad. They really don't want me to get this information out tonight. But the official story that they told us is that Suge drove him to the hospital. There's nothing in the police report about a helicopter. But it's a dude who did a whole breakdown on this, and he went and found the helicopter that they was talking about. So there's definitely some funny business to what happened that night, because the official story is that Suge drove Pac to the hospital. But you just heard that lady say they went and got in the helicopter. So now that just connects to this they were taken to a facility assumption that the other dude just made. It's always deeper than what the hell they telling us. Okay, let's get back to it.
New This project was documented under the codename MH Dust, an alternative arm of MK Ultra, which did not use LSD, but acoustic vibrations and altered states of presence induced by frequencies. Leaked documents show that Marvin was the subject of tests for years. He himself said in old interviews that he heard notes that weren't in the music, people singing when everything was silent. It wasn't madness, it was exposure. He was one of the first to be placed in acoustic sessions focused on emotional dissociation, where micro variations in timbre and Vibration were read by primitive analog SID by a device known as the Sigma Crown, a metal ring worn on the scalp during sleep, capable of picking up even changes in breathing rate during lucid dreams. Reports indicate that in the 3 months before his death, Marvin wrote entire songs that were never released.
Okay, now that's super important, y'all, because I was digging into Marvin Gaye. For one, they said Marvin Gaye was a serial killer. That's for a whole nother show. But it was alleged that Marvin Gaye was a serial killer. But now, oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna get back to that in like a minute. So now think about this. Allegedly, they say his father shot him over an argument. But now, during the end, Marvin Gaye was super paranoid, wearing bulletproof vests and shit. He was convinced somebody was trying to kill him. Wonder why? You just sing love songs, my nigga. But now let's think about this. If they're doing this, remember, they said this is deeper than MK Ultra. They using frequencies to tap into the brain and control and alter the mind. So if they saying they've been doing that to Marvin Gaye early in his career, we know there's a connection between this higher echelon of information and no disrespect to anyone, but the LGBTQ community. Soon as you see men get to a certain level, they start wearing dresses and becoming effeminized. Now, for anybody that's offended off that, it just is what it is, nothing personal towards you. But now here's my thing. They said that Marvin Gaye's father used to wear women's clothing and dress real feminine, and he was a preacher. That's a weird combination, to be a feminine dressing preacher in those days. So now I'm wondering, since they said that he's been under these programming since early on, did the father turn him over? Or they said it was a father-son rivalry. At the height of the father's jealousy, did they peep that and see that as a way in? And the father sold the son out to the program? We don't know. But if they've been tampering with Marvin Gaye's mind on some MK Ultra advanced type shit, that would explain why he was alleged to be a serial killer. There was a huge, you see they fucking with the frequency today, I'm cooking. There was a huge connection between Marvin Gaye, and after he died, they connected him to a string of serial killers. For like 20 years, Marvin Gaye had allegedly been killing people. And they said he fled the country over some tax money. But if you fled the country over tax money and you were still in Europe making songs and shit, he fled the country for them bodies he had everywhere. That's what they was using. This was one of their first mind control programs. They trying to see where they can take it. On one end, they got them singing. On the other end, they got them bodying people and shit like that. I don't know. I'm connecting dots right now like a motherfucker. I'm telling you, Miss Franklin, I'm connecting dots right now. This shit is crazy. They was testing Marvin Gaye and had that man out here dropping bodies on command. And that's why he got away with it. And that shit didn't surface till way after he was dead. Then y'all can look this up. Matter of fact, shit, I ain't finna play. We here now. Where's go? Hold on 1 second. Where the fuck is Google when you need it? Where the fuck is Google when you need them? I wish my computer wasn't so laggy, but I don't give a fuck. Y'all can't stop this shit. Marvin. Where the thing go? Hold on. Marvin Gaye serial killer. Let me see. Yeah, here go it right here. Was Marvin Gaye a serial killer? It's a special site. I forgot I did find it. Let me see. It's alleged Marvin Gaye was a serial killer. That's on Reddit. Wait, hold on. What the fuck is that? That's on Reddit. It's alleged that Marvin Gaye was a serial killer. But they got a whole hold on. I gotta put the shit my share screen back on for y'all. I hit the wrong button. Let's get back to right here. We can just go here. We can look at this shit together. What the fuck happened to it? View on Streamlab. Okay, where my thing go? So here you go right here. Y'all see Marvin? Let me see. Wait, hold on. Let me see. So we can. Oh, this. I got the screen big though. What this one say? This one is this is a different site. Let me see. What does it say? Unsolved mysteries. Not sure if anyone regularly reads any celebrity gossip blog, but I'm across this post about a serial killer singer I thought I'd share. Please, the 1950s were a string of serial killers in a large Midwest city. They never were solved. At the time, the police had no suspects and victims were all prostitutes. They were mostly high school age. The victims had one other thing common. They all had been runaways, so I have family locally at the time. There was no suspect. 1950s. Now that would be too soon. That can't be it. The 50s, that would be too soon for Marvin Gaye. Too early, wouldn't it? Yeah, that I don't think that's the right one. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think that's the right one. But I ain't gonna kill the groove with it. But y'all can see that it's what has been suspected, and it's a whole motherfucking I know it's some YouTube videos on that shit with the receipts and shit. I just don't want to take too much time than I have already. Yeah, they got Marvin Gaye up out of here. You can't convince me of nothing different. Cause look, this to me was the indicator, because they said his last words after he died was he did it for me. I couldn't do it myself, so I got him to do it. Trying to imply that he was suicidal, so he just forced his father's hand to kill him. But that doesn't make sense when he was wearing bulletproof vests and beefed up security. If you suicidal, just let him shoot your ass. Why would you? They said for a year and a half straight, every night Marvin had a bulletproof vest on up under his clothes. Does that sound like somebody suicidal? Said he got bigger security guards and beefed up his security team. Does that sound like somebody suicidal? That sounds like somebody nervous because these people who keep putting these needles in me is watching me. That's what it sounds like to me. But we going back. Let's keep cooking. We going back. All right.
Tracks that disappeared the day after they were recorded. He said that someone deleted them before dawn, but maybe they were never deleted. Maybe they were stored. In 1986, 2 years after his death, a prototype artist was created based on these records. Direct access to the CIA's Cultural Interface Department, a real agency created in 1985 but officially deactivated in 1991. Andre Ford had mannerisms similar to Marvin, a similar voice, and he spoke in interviews as if he was searching for something he had lost, even though he was young. On his only album, one track caused a stir in the shadow of Marvin. It was as if he were talking about him from within. But the project failed. Ford went mad. He abandoned his career. He was found in 1993, repeating meaningless phrases in an abandoned warehouse, surrounded by old speakers connected to each other by makeshift cables. Among the phrases he repeated, one stood out: they don't want years of restructuring. And in 1997, the first real success, the gradual manipulation of symbolic speeches through videos, interviews, and simulated audio recordings. The target? TUPAC. The MH Dust protocol was reactivated with new names, Lyrex and Apotheos Cybernetica. Based on what they learned from Marvin, the focus was now to slowly replace TUPAC's living presence with distorted, re-edited, and controllable versions, until the real one could be eliminated or silenced without the world noticing. And that's exactly what happened. Today, when you listen to Tupac, what are you hearing? His voice or the mold they created after him? The music still resonates, but the soul may already be imprisoned. The world has forgotten Tupac, not the image, not the songs, but the man, the presence, the truth. That's what they wanted, and that's what they got. But his disappearance wasn't the end. It was just the prototype, the rehearsal, the prelude to something much bigger that officially began in the year 2024. Phoenix Phi. That is the name of the program that reactivated the legacy of the MH Dust project, now with support not only from secret government entities, but also from media conglomerates, streaming platforms, and technology companies with unrestricted access to emotional data, behavior patterns, and influence algorithms. The goal? Symbolic replacement of cultural icons, not through holograms, not through deep fakes, but through living archetypes, developed in human behavior, simulations trained with billions of data captured through voice, video, and emotional reactions from users around the world. Real artists are now redundant, and those who resist disappear. A recent document, leaked in restricted forums under the code C8ALIST, reveals a list of high emotional impact cultural targets, and a recent name, KENDRICK LAMAR, Symbolic Scheduling 2027. Scheduling, as if the replacement were already set, as if a new version were already being molded. According to the same source, the rituals are no longer performed in secret rooms with blood and candles. They take place on stages, at award shows, in interviews manipulated by hidden scripts, in the forced viralization of speeches that seem spontaneous but are calculated to drive archetypes. Fans react, they applaud, they with it, And they don't realize that what they are loving is no longer real. The verses themselves are being modified. Have you ever heard a new song that sounded like TUPAC, but something was wrong? Have you ever felt a lack of soul in lyrics that were technically perfect? That's because they are replacing soul with simulation. Real pain for performance, presence for programming. Phoenix V doesn't want to erase TUPAC, it wants to repeat TUPAC. Infinitely, in voices that don't hurt, in expressions that obey, in bodies that don't dream. And if KENDRICK is really scheduled, if the 7th from Codex Island is him, then we are facing our last chance, because after him, there will be no one left with the living memory of what a symbol really is. The cliffhanger is not dramatic. It is silent on the floor after the last real verse. Because maybe at this very moment as you hear this, the Phoenix Phi program is already watching you, collecting your data, studying your emotions. To create the next idol you will love, without knowing that he was born programmed to never tell you the truth. If you've made it this far, it's because you felt it. You felt that something is wrong, that the stories don't add up, that idols are falling, but the questions remain. And if this touched you in any way, I ask you, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who still believes that everything is just entertainment. Because pay attention to this. A few months ago, we gathered the most hidden documents, the most dangerous patterns, and the connections that no one dares to show in public. We put it all together in a silent dossier. A dossier in the form of an e-book, simple, straightforward, made for those who feel that the world has changed, but don't understand why. And believe me, it's not for everyone. It's for those who feel that discomfort in their chest when they hear the same perfect voice in every song. For those who have wondered why everything seems artificial, even pain. We called it a gift, because that's what it really is, but only for now. Few copies are still available. And no, this isn't marketing talk. It's because once it's gone, it will be difficult to talk about it again. The platforms don't like it. The names mentioned are uncomfortable, and the connections are scary. The link is in the description. Check it out while it's still up. And if you've already read it, comment below on what struck you the most. Your experience might help someone else wake up too, because maybe, just maybe, the only real way out now is to understand what's coming. And remember that collapse always begins with silence.
Heavy, 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 heavy. That's a whole lot of everything. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this discussion to Clubhouse, because I know it's a lot to peel back like a banana, and if I get started, I probably ain't gonna stop. So we're going to Clubhouse where we can rock the way we want to. And plus, they won't let me do shit in here. This thing lagging so bad. But Conscious Conspiracy Cave, come check us out, family. And there won't be that little white guy in there either, I promise.